let's get started so we can get through this, have some time for questions, and everyone can feel prepared for back to school night. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So this training is about the template that we have been filling out as video teachers. So Tina Otten, who her and I presented yesterday, so you know Tina, Keisha Cross, Amy Ketterman, Barbara Murphy, who is not able to join us today, but for the best reason. She just had a baby a few weeks ago, so she is on maternity leave, but she also worked very, very hard on these videos and the spreadsheet too. Bree Williams, and then myself. And if, oh, nope, it's in here, never mind.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at our learning intentions for this afternoon. Today we're learning about the video teacher planning template and how to use it to plan instruction. You will be successful when you can locate the document for use and make a copy for yourself. Use the video template to locate videos and materials for all subjects and determine the next steps to plan instruction for the school year. I was getting ready to click on my laptop over here like it was going to make the screen move. All right, so just, I feel like we go over norms mostly at our pre-K ones. I don't feel like we go over these at like bigger group session ones, but you know, just make sure to arrive early. I think at our previous session today, some people ran into some static with that because it was over 300 people. And if you didn't log in early, then you may not have gotten in on that. Always silence your cell phone. And if you must answer a call, mute your microphone. Let's just go ahead and have our microphones muted anyway, which is at the bottom, unless you're speaking, so that it takes out the background noise. Stay on task and discontinue side conversations, please. When addressing the group, will you please speak slowly and clearly? But actually, for the purpose of this meeting today, we would love if you would put your questions in the chat, and then we will try to get to those. Please be actively listening to others. They may have the same question or concern that you have. So if you're not listening and then you chime on and you ask the same thing and we're like, address that. So, and be respectful of others. Keep your, I don't really mind if you have your camera on in Zoom. That's not a big deal to me. We know that you're here and you're listening. You may be, you know, having children at home or something. So that's not a big deal. So I think that's all of them, because I already said the keep your microphone muted. So.
Yep. So as Tina said, if you have questions, put them in the chat. We will have time at the end to answer questions and make sure you feel really prepared with this document, but that'll help us just move through this a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So we have created a document that houses everything that you need for all content areas. It has videos and it has all sorts of things. We are going to go through that document step by step with you. A lot of you have probably already seen it. But we want to make sure that there's a common understanding of what each column means and how to use it. And so you will find content on there for math, reading, ReadyGen, Sierra Success, Second Step, and we'll talk about science and social studies as well. So at this point, we want to show you where to find this document. So I am going to stop sharing my screen and show you. So if you go to the Topeka Public Schools website, and so if you want to follow along with us as we do this, some of you, like I said, I'm sure have already found where this is, but if you want to follow along, I know that sometimes I remember better if I'm doing it along. So I'm going to go slow so that everyone can do it with us. You'll go to Topeka Public Schools website. You can type it in, or if you have the bookmarks, it's also right there. Once you're on the home page, and if I go too fast, please tell me. Once you're on the home page, you scroll down just a little bit to where it has the quick links on the left-hand side. You are going to click on the link that says TPS Remote Learning. It is the 5th link down. Right now, that could change. Once you click on that, it will pull up a new website that looks like this. If you are following along so far and are ready for me to move on, can you give me a thumbs up so I can make sure I'm not? Okay, looks like most people are good. So once you get here, it's just you click on PreK at the top. That had all the grade levels across. You can click on PreK. And right here, there is the planning guide for teachers. So when you click on this, that is how you will access the spreadsheet. This is what the spreadsheet looks like. From here, you can save it to your drive so that you have easy access. You can feel free to make a copy. I heard another grade level teacher say they're going to copy it week by week into their own separate document.
So that they're not so overwhelmed by all of the stuff that's there.
Because this is a very big, long document, and so it can get overwhelming.
Yeah.
This is also, you could just make a copy of it. However, this is a live document, and we, as the video teachers, are continually adding things and editing as we keep going. So if you do that, you're not going to get those changes. So that's why I would recommend maybe only doing a week at a time. Or you can just look at it this way too. So, sorry, I keep getting muted. Okay, we want to walk you through what each column stands for and what it means. And you'll notice that for every subject, it looks exactly the same. They all pages have the same columns, and you can switch between the subjects down here at the bottom. So there's math, there's reading, which is ReadyGen, SEER Success, second step, and we'll talk more about social studies and science in a little bit. So of course it's gonna have the date. So this is the date that you would do the video. Column B has the video teacher plans. So it has the lesson number it has the curriculum it has the standards that are addressed, and it also has learning intentions and success criteria that we've already created. So for example, here's a good example. You don't have to use the learning intentions and success criteria that we did if you need to tweak them a little bit. However, this is what we use when in the videos. So this is exactly what we do in the video.
And we took them from the standard. So we didn't necessarily look at the CDMs. I know I didn't. I just looked at the lesson, but it's more than likely what the CDM says because it's based off of the standards. So that all kind of goes back to the same thing.
Exactly. Column C is suggested teacher duties. So one thing you'll notice about the videos that we've done is we leave a lot more up to you as the classroom teacher. So we'll do a little bit of practice in the video, but then we leave a lot of the lesson for you to do in your live Zoom sessions. So the suggested teacher duties is just how you could continue the lesson with your class on Zoom. They're not things you have to do. It's what we suggest off of what we've already done, what we think would work well. Let me make sure. But you are welcome to tweak that. The one thing that is required is in column D. This is the video that we have created. Students must watch the video. So it is your choice, unless you hear different directions from your building's administrator, it is your choice whether you watch the video before your live Zoom session or after, but they do have to watch the video.
So we had something come up on chat just really quick. I don't really know the answer to this. So I know that Mrs. Broyles is on. So for people that have half days, we can pick what gets used to fit within our time frame. I think the answer might be, I don't know, I'll let you go ahead.
Sure. that's fine. That's a great question, Miss English. Thank you for asking it. I do think that that is what we do, but I would just say, let's take some guidance from Kara Sheets on that, just to make sure that we have some systematic consistency among our PIP programs, okay? So I will get with her and just make sure that that is on her radar.
I do believe she's on this Zoom, if she wants to comment.
Is she? I can't see everything on here.
Yes, I'm on here.
Okay.
So I am new to looking at this as well. So I think, yeah, we can try to streamline that, but maybe give us a little bit of time for me to go through it and see. And maybe Keisha and Bree can also help us if they're more familiar with this. But yeah, we can try and put out some guidance on what's recommended for the half-day programs, because we still want to make sure we are hitting all of the concepts.
And Carol, I don't know if you saw it in the chat there, but that question is for people that have half days, can we pick what gets used to fit within our time frame? Just so that you, says you missed the question, so.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And Tegan, do the apps record time spent learning? I'm not sure. Are you talking about
Like Clever and Seesaw?
Clever and Seesaw? If you want to unmute and ask, that's fine too.
I don't know that they do.
Maybe another way to ask that, and maybe this is wrong, but how are we holding our families accountable for the time that they're home learning? If we are telling them they have to have so many questions or so many minutes, how do we know that question's going to be out there. How do we know they're working on it?
Mrs. Broyles?
Lamanda, Mrs. Boreals,
Yes.
this is Robin Dixon.
Mhm.
Has the idea, because the state requires that parents submit a log that documents the amount of hours and time that they're spending. So parents will be receiving a Google form where parents have to account for their students' learning time. Amanda, anything that you've heard differently with preschool? I know that's K-5, so I don't want to misspeak for pre-K.
Yes, there's going to be some specific ways that we can handle that. Now, at the end of the day, we are not in their homes, and so we do not for sure know what is happening. Okay, so I think that it's important to address that. But I think that we remember we are giving them a sample schedule to say this is what we're recommending to ensure that those minutes outlined from KSDE and our instructional time guidelines are met. Now, I will tell you that administrators just had training literally an hour ago on this, and so more information will be coming on how to handle the documentation log that Ms. Dixon just mentioned. So really, I think the important message, especially pertaining to tonight at back to school, because that's kind of our focus right now, is really saying that grades and attendance will be taken. We are in school beginning September 9th, just like we would be if we were in the building. So I think let's hold off right now on really getting into the details of things that are going to come in the next week or 2 weeks, because we've got time on that. I do think that it is important for people to know that we are taking attendance when they jump on the Zooms. If children are not on there, then we are looking at communicating with families on time spent on outside assignments. So we are, there are things in the work for that, and we just received training. So know that it's coming. But I think just to ease everybody for tonight, the main message that we will be sending is not anything about the parent logs or anything like that. That will come. It really is just knowing that it's an expectation that we're completing those minutes outlined as a full school day, and that we will be tracking attendance as well as grades.
And I just want to take a moment before I go to another meeting and just thank the hard work of our videotape teacher team. As you see this document, they have worked tirelessly and endlessly to assist in instruction going forward, and We have a miraculous team, and we are so blessed that they have been willing to work over the summer and work tirelessly to make amazing videos for our students and for you and assignments as well.
Thank you. We will keep going. I'm actually going to switch over to the reading tab because it has a column E that's English language learner video. So for pre-K right now, there are not any. However, and you also won't find this on the math tab. And the reason it's not on the math tab is, as we talked about yesterday, InSync provides all of the resources in Spanish. So you're able to use those to help in that way. There are not currently any videos for ReadyGen for English language learners, but we use the kindergarten ReadyGen curriculum, and kindergarten does have videos. So if you just go back to the remote learning website and you open up kindergarten's planning guide, you would be able to find some there. They're not for every day, but they are to support. And I don't know how quickly this will load, but I will try and show you. So they do have some videos that support on column E that support English language learners, and you can find those there. The next column is column F, which is an optional assignment. You won't find one of these for every single day in every single video, but these are Seesaw activities that we have created that we feel go along with the skills and the standards they're working with. You do not have to use these. You are welcome to create your own, but they're already there for you. So edit them, tweak them, make them yours. And like I said, they won't be there for every video, but when they are there, feel free to use them. Mm-hmm. The next column is suggested technology integration. So as we heard in our meeting from this morning, hopefully you arrived early and were able to get in. But if not, Seesaw is our main platform. So we do know that all of the technology can be overwhelming for our kiddos. And so focus on Seesaw first. Get your kiddos, get your parents really solid in Seesaw first, and then start adding in these other things.
And
but we did
ask that. Hannah and I asked that, and they said definitely, like, for the first quarter, just focus on Seesaw. We want to make sure our parents are really secure in our kiddos in Seesaw before we start adding something else.
Then a column H is optional teacher ideas. This is if, and you won't find it on all of them, but it's just maybe you're going to have some small group time that depends on your school and your building, whether you will have that or not built into your schedule and your day. What are you going to do during that small group time? What's a virtual station idea you could do? So that's what you would find there, but you're welcome to use your own or collaborate with other teachers to help create that. Column I, and let me slide over. Column I is suggested materials. So again, you won't find this on every single one, but it's like for Eureka Math, it's what did they suggest, or what do students need to be able to do this lesson successfully? You would find those there. It might be counters, dry erase boards, letter tiles, and there are toolkits that are being created by the district that will have some of those materials in there. They are not quite ready yet, but they're hoping to have them in the hands of students by the first full week of school, was the last I heard update on that. The last column is asynchronous learning. So we all struggled to know what this meant. We were always like,
making sense now. Like, I'm just getting it now. I had to hear it so many times before I learned the new buzzword. Just like, I'm just now getting okay. Well, I mean, I'm more than okay with like visible learning, but last year at the beginning of the year, I was definitely like, oh, learning intentions. And that's what asynchronous and synchronous learning is this year when we heard it in the summer. So it's okay. But basically, asynchronous learning is the stuff that they're going to be doing, that they're going to be counting on their logs that they're doing at home. It's when they're not with you on your Zooms. That's asynchronous learning.
I had to Google it. This makes me feel a lot better because I'm like, I have to Google it. I mean, this is a word and I don't know what it is. I'm just going to admit it. So that makes me feel better.
So now we want to go over each individual subject and give you just specifics. So like the sheet shows, math is first. So we will start with math.
I don't know what else to say. It's basically what we sent out to you guys in the spring. It's the learning intentions, it's the standards, it's the video, it's the suggested duties. It's basically all the same thing, except we were really encouraged to do a seesaw activity, which again, that was a learning curve for me. I really hadn't used seesaw a whole lot, so that took some time for me to learn a little bit over the summer to make those activities and upload those for you. Hannah had a really great positive outlook. She said, I have to make these activities for myself because all teachers are encouraged to use Seesaw. So why don't I put it here for people to use if they want to use it? We also included, if you see the safe YouTube link and a regular YouTube link, just so that if you feel like it's really important to you that your students use a safe YouTube link so that they don't see the ads on the sides, which sometimes can have not great ads or not great videos to click on, that they may do that, then the safe YouTube link takes that away. It's safe. So we did take the time to make sure to upload that for you here. You know, we keep learning every time and we're just trying to do the best for you. It is overwhelming to take on so many videos at a time and try to do everything for you. So I hope that you're happy with what we did. And I think Hannah hit on it once. You don't have to use the things that we put here for you except for the video. If your building already worked out some sort of learning intentions that you guys are used to using, then that's what you guys use. This is not the end all be all. The videos is what is a requirement. And like we said yesterday, the 6-week safety net. And then after that, the math videos will, we won't be making any more to our knowledge at this time. Hannah and I moved over and we did some CR Success, so you'll see us over there. But yeah, so anything you want to add about that?
Yeah, so our CR, or not our CR Success, now you've got me thinking about CR Success. Our Eureka Math videos that we did end on Friday, October 23rd. So you've got until then to get in sync figured out. One thing that I just want to add is just reiterating what we said yesterday. You have the choice whether to use our video or the in sync video for these first 6 weeks. It is your choice. Watch both, see which fits best. Use both, but you do have to use one of them, but you get to choose which one. I just want to point out on the teacher duties, most of it is we started the concept development and we ask you to finish it. We also give you on not all of the lessons, but some of them, some extra resources like the linked flip chart that was used in the video, which often includes extra times for practice that you could use in your live Zoom sessions. So the students would be seeing the same thing. And just for clarity, these 2 links that are in the required video, they're the exact same video, but one is YouTube and one is safe YouTube.
Nancy, we don't know when they're going to get those kits. I mean, that can change. But what we do know is that they took basically what did Diane say? They took what was suggested for pre-K and they're going to get materials. So they're more than likely going to have like the bears. They're more than likely going to have like those little counter coins that are yellow and red or whatever. You know, they're going to have a lot of the same things that we have at school because that's what they asked for them to have at home. So yeah, we were really happy when they said what they were going to order. We were like, yes, finally. So
Yes, and if I can take just a moment to address Miss English's question regarding, what if a student is finishing quickly? I think I would just respond to that question with another question of what would we be doing if the child was with us? Enrichment opportunities are just as important and need just as much focus as retention and reviewing. And when our students are not getting something, we instantly are able to backtrack, review, and scaffold to get them there. We need to be doing the same type of scaffolding for our babies who need enrichment. So I would say that if there are students who are needing additional things to work on, they need a challenge, I think that we look at that and we differentiate based for our high students, just like we would be differentiating for our low students. And I think that's a very important point, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Ms. Armstrong, in addition to what Ms. Otten had said, I do know that unless something has changed, there's also going to be Play-Doh in the kits. So I think that that is important as well. Now, let's hope the parents don't say, hey, they're not doing Play-Doh at my house, right? I've got 2 kiddos myself, and sometimes I'm like, it is not a Play-Doh day. Mama just cleaned. But I do think that they're going to have those. I know that Mrs. Wallace's team is, working hard getting all of that, all of those items ordered. I do know that with COVID, shipping has been an issue, and so it has not been that the teaching and learning team has not, done their part. They have done an amazing job getting everything, trying to do inventory, but shipping is another thing we have to worry about. So I think when we have a better picture of a timeline, I think maybe we can kind of send that out and let you know when we get there. I just know right now we're, in the middle of getting the items and then actually getting them made.
Can we get a list of what's going to be in there? So if we want them to have something else, that we can be planning ahead with things like that?
Sure, I would be happy to check on that. And then if that is done and everything, we can make sure we get that communicated.
That would be great.
Yeah,
Thanks.
And then to address Kayla's question, these are the same videos that are on the website for parents that are listed as the dates, but we're giving you guys access to this and explaining this so that if you want to plan ahead, because sometimes like last spring, they were doing like maybe a week or 2 at a time. And then you couldn't do planning like over the week. I know there was one weekend where they weren't uploaded there. And you couldn't plan over the weekend or whatever to watch all those videos for the next week and take notes. So this way it's there for you. You don't have to wait for them to be uploaded to the district site. They're right here already uploaded for you.
Anything else for math, Tina? I can't think of anything.
No, I can't think of anything.
All right, Amy, take it away.
So when you look at the ReadyGen part, it's the same layout. We did try to add some seesaw activities that you could do with your lesson. Not every lesson has a seesaw activity, but most of them do. We also included the flip chart if there was a graphic organizer that you could continue to write on. And then we also added some like YouTube links that have like songs or videos that maybe kind of match the stories of something additional to do. And then the only thing that would be different is in the ReadyGen module, like the poetry section, it's a real small section, I believe, like on the 2nd or 3rd day that you read the story. We made that a separate day. So like day 1 of the module, we read the story, and then day 2, we did the poetry. And it's a completely separate day from the actual lesson because we thought like rhyming was important. We made that its own lesson. So that's kind of the change to pay attention to. That's it for ReadyGen.
And if you have not,
do you know the answer to Anna's question?
So Anna's asking, are we to place the video in a seesaw lesson, or are they just expected to watch it off the site like last year? I think you can put it in a seesaw lesson. I personally am creating a template that just has my schedule and they click the link as they go through the days, has all their stuff. But you could also do it in a seesaw lesson. You can send them to the website as well. It's just, what do you think is going to be the easiest for your families and your students is what I would suggest. Also, if you have not watched Gail Ramirez's, it's one of the required videos we have to watch, but if you have not watched it, Gail Ramirez's video on ReadyGen and how to incorporate it into the virtual classroom, that is also a really good resource to watch for when you're thinking about reading, of how to go. So,
but it also is really helpful with Seesaw. I watched both the Seesaw Basics and Advanced Seesaw in the spring, but when I watched that video this go around, I was like, oh, she really, really walked you through how to embed like the little Pip story in there and give directions and whatever. Like, that was really wonderful.
Keisha?
Okay, so I did cycle 1. These videos are super short, guys. I know like it's hard to keep our kiddos' attention. So my videos are anywhere between like 3 to 4 minutes. But it would be a good review to do in your classroom, you know, review those letter sounds, do the actions with the kiddos. I did not have a lot of Seesaw activities attached to mine because Seesaw was new to me then. And I didn't watch the video of Gail, you know, teaching us how to use Seesaw until like 2-3 weeks ago. So I do not have a lot of those Seesaw activities attached to that. I did attach the flip chart that I used. So you guys should all have access to that flip chart also.
And CR Success currently has videos for cycle 1 and cycle 2. Tina and I did cycle 2. And the videos get a little bit longer, but for those of you that have taught CR Success before, the difference between cycle 1 and cycle 2 in CR Success is pretty significant. So we tried to make them as short as possible. So just know that. I just want to show you one thing you'll find that I have shared on the Seesaw library is a template of the magnetic folder. Traditionally, you don't need this until cycle 2, but I want you to know it's there in case you have some high flyers and you need to use this in cycle 1. So you can just copy it, delete the letter tiles you don't need. But I just want you to know that it is there and it should be shared if you search English Language Arts on PreK in the district library. Let me get back to, wrong one, this one. Second step.
Okay, so my name's Bree Williams. I did the second step videos. I would just say that there's not like a specific time that you teach these set out like there is for math and for ELA. But I did give some kind of suggestions on how you can still incorporate those social emotional skills as you're teaching the other lessons. And then if I did use a flip chart, that is in there as well. As Hannah will show you.
Yes, in column G.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that Bree did that I think is awesome is on those of you that have taught second step before, Fridays are they encourage you to incorporate a book. And so Bree was really incorporating subjects, and Bree, correct me if I'm wrong, but you brought in some science with it?
It was, yes. So there are some science and some social studies books in there as well. So like this one is Come On Rain. There was another one that I think was like, oh yeah, The Man Who Walked Between Two Towers. So that would be more like the social stories or social studies. I have social stories for COVID stuck in my head today. So it's just kind of a like back and forth with the science and social studies.
So social studies videos are incorporated into the reading lessons, maybe not so much in ReadyGen Module 1, because Module 1 for ReadyGen focuses more on science, but they are incorporated there as well as in second step. You will not see a science tab on the bottom. And when I asked about this earlier, I was told that PreK does not have science specific standards, but you are welcome to, again, go to the kindergarten spreadsheet, and they do have science. And you can use these and adjust them to fit your needs as you see fit, incorporating this with, oh, this would go really well with this ReadyGen lesson, to see how you can incorporate. So the kindergarten sheet will also be a really good resource for you. So
they access that kindergarten spreadsheet just like they did the pre-K. So when we go to the TPS site, the quick links, the remote learning, and then kindergarten at the top.
Yep.
Okay,
And
just want to make sure people know where to access that.
Yep, and right here on planning guide.
Perfect. You guys, one of the things, you know, that we often say is we don't have enough time, or we don't ever get to see those other grade levels. And so this is a great way, because of all the hard work that's been put into this. It is like a built-in way to do that vertical planning piece where you have the foundational skills, but if you have students who are accelerated from that, it's a very easy way to differentiate and make that happen. So I hope that you know that you are free to utilize that if needed, for sure.
So I know that we've been asking questions along the way, or answering questions along the way, but I mean, is there something that we didn't cover? I mean, I hope you're feeling way better about this than Eureka Math and Sync. So, you know, if you don't feel comfortable asking, school starts, it's the 9th. What day is that?
Wednesday.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, it's the 9th. I don't know. It's the 9th because the 9th is ingrained in my brain. Are the PK getting them?
Miss Armstrong, I was able to get the list, so I'll go ahead and just read the items off of so that you guys have an idea. We are getting linking cubes, 2-sided color counters, a box of colored pencils or crayons. So I'm not sure. I would assume we would get crayons, but I'm not sure. It's probably depending on how it was ordered. Composition notebook, peat pellet. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. And looks like maybe some science things. Okay, and that's in it right now. And then I think Play-Doh was added, and there's just a couple of things that they may be putting in there as well.
I believe I also heard every student will be getting a dry erase board of some type.
Okay. They said that in our meeting, so I hope that included us too. So
it does include pre-K. You're getting them as well.
Yay.
And Joni's asking about these materials. Will SPED pre-K be getting them as well?
Yes, they will.
Perfect.
They will. Yep. Great. All
Great
right.
questions, guys. We're glad that you're clarifying some things and you're on the right track and positive attitude. So we appreciate that.
Definitely. You want to go to the next slide, Hannah?
Yep.
Can we add to the kits? Probably not at this point. They've already got stuff ordered, and like Mrs. Royal said about the shipping and everything, I think what's done is done. So that's, I mean, we're just so lucky that we're in a district that would even purchase these materials for all of the students to have. So I'm really grateful. So
just to put it in perspective, I know that Diane ordered 40,000 cubes.
Oh, she said, like my own things. If you wanted to provide kits for your own kids, you can. I went around last year and when you said the Play-Doh, I went around last year and I delivered Play-Doh to all of my kids because I wanted to incorporate it in my Zoom, and I didn't want to hear anybody say that they didn't have it. So I bought it for everybody and I went around and I delivered it to them. So yeah, I was also thinking about getting like the Skittles, the small packet, and delivering that to all of my kids this year so I could do that Skittles science activity, because that's a really easy science activity for them to do, and then you could get to eat Skittles. I mean, so yes, definitely. If you want to do your own thing, you can do your own thing.
Tina, can you deliver for me too?
Hey,
since I'm in Lawrence.
Last year, 18 was enough. My mom came with me and she was like, whew. I said, yeah, I know.
Hey, I'm in Lawrence too, except for I want the family size, Tina, okay? I'll take it.
So we're just going to review our learning intentions, and hopefully today we can click off the success criteria. So we were learning about the video teacher planning template and how to plan our instruction. So you were successful if you can locate the document for use. And I actually saw some people in their backgrounds on another device doing that and people talking about it. So I know some of you have located the template, and so use the video template to locate videos and materials for all subjects. Again, I saw some of you doing it, so I think that we're doing well there. And then determine the next steps in to plan instruction for the school year. I mean, kind of just like you did last year, I would watch the videos at a week, and then I would make notes on my planner. And so just like things that I thought were useful. I think I overplanned all the time, but over planning is better than under planning. So yeah, I think definitely today our success criteria, we're coming out on top.
And you are always welcome to email us if you come across questions or don't understand something that we put. Barbara might not get back to you for a while if you try and email her, but everyone else, we will get back to you as soon as we're able.
All right. Thank you guys for attending today. Let's go get ready for that back to school night.
Yes, and thank you to the team who made this possible. I know you guys put in a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of thought and consideration. So I think on behalf of everybody, thank you. And then also just thank you to all of you, because you are already going to do amazing things this year despite challenges. And so we're really proud of TPS's early childhood group. So thank you in advance for all you're going to do.
The
Bye,
other
guys.
thing that I want to reiterate really quickly is that tonight when you're having your parent meeting, you probably are not going to know all of the answers, and that is okay. I visited with the principals this morning. Take some notes on questions that you may not have the response to. Give it to your principal so that then they can turn that into an FAQ that can go out to families in a weekly communication from the administrator. So it's okay. I appreciate everyone working hard to make sure that the beginning of the year goes smoothly, and thank you for tonight and making sure that that goes smoothly. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and it's okay if you don't know every answer. We're learning and digging through this day by day. So just record those questions and send them off to your principal. Do remember to take attendance tonight so that you know who could access the link and who zoomed in and didn't, so then you can follow up with them maybe on Tuesday. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hannah, did you get my text?
I got it, but I was busy.
What were
I
you
just
doing?
saw it come across.
So I think it was me muting